Hello friends, today let us solve few problems on beams. This first problem is for a beam subjected to uniformly distributed load as shown in figure, determine the slopes at nodes 2 and nodes 3 and the vertical deflection at the midpoint of the distributed load here. Also find the support reactions. Here he has given that Young's modulus E is equal to 200 gigapascal and moment of inertia of the beam I is equal to 4 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So let us divide this beam into two finite elements, that is from here to here one element and from here to here another element. And at each node, for a beam element, you know that at each node there will be 2 degrees of freedom, that is one will be vertical displacement V and another one will be the slope or rotation theta. Hence at node 1 the degrees of freedom are q1 is the vertical displacement and q2 is the rotation theta, q or slope, q3 is the vertical deflection at node 2 and q4 is the rotation about node 2 and q5 is the vertical deflection at node 3 and q6 is the rotation or slope at node 3. First, always whenever we are solving the problem we should be consistent with the unit. So whatever unit we'll start using in the beginning, we have to convert all the other parameters with the or variables with the same units. For example, here E is 200 gigapascal. I am using all forces in newtons and all length units in meters. So E should be in Newton per meter square. So it is 200 into 10 raised to 9. Giga means 10 raised to 9. So 10 raised to 9 Newton per meter square. Then moment of inertia I is equal to, he has given that it is 4 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So I have to convert it into meters. So that is 4 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter raised to 4. Then first step in FEM is to model or divide the body into finite number of elements or create a finite element model of the problem. So here we have created the finite element model of the problem. Then next step is to write down the element stiffness matrix for each element separately. So here this is the expression for element stiffness matrix for a beam element, that is Ke is equal to Ei by Le cube into this 4 by 4 matrix. So let us write down the element stiffness matrix for each element, for element 1 and element 2. So here Ei by Le cube is the common, so let us, and it is same for both the elements, so let us calculate first Ei by Le cube separately so that we can easily substitute here. So Ei by Le cube is equal to 8 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter. As in this problem, the length of each element of the beam and cross sectional area and material of both the elements of the beam are same. Hence the element stiffness matrix Ke will also be same for both element 1 and element 2. So let us denote K1 as the element stiffness matrix for element 1 and K2 as the element stiffness matrix for element 2. So it will be equal to 8 into 10 raised to 5 into bracket this one. This is after substituting L in this matrix. Here the corresponding nodes for element 1 are corresponding degrees of freedom for element 1 are Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. Similarly, the corresponding degrees of freedom for element 2 are Q3, Q4, Q5 and Q6. So while assembling, we have to write down for example for element 1, that is K1 is equal to, here we have to write down node number 1, sorry, degrees of freedom 1, 2, 3 and 4 corresponding to element 1. Similarly here also 1, 2, 3, 4. Then while assembling, we have to take this as, this is first row. First let us consider K1, then first row, first column, that is 12 is there. So here also we have to write down first row, first column 12. Like this we already know how to systematically assemble the stiffness matrix capital K. Here you can see that the capital K is of order 6 by 6 because in this problem there are 3 nodes and at each node 2 degrees of freedom, that is totally 6 degrees of freedom. Hence capital K is of order 6 by 6. This is from the property of the stiffness matrix, that is the order of the stiffness matrix is equal to the number of degrees of freedom in the problem. So K is of order 6 by 6. So 8 into 10 raised to 5 is common for both K1 and K2. So 8 into 10 raised to 5 will take outside. Then inside the bracket, inside the matrix, so let us first write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows numbers here, here and here. So at first row for K1, at first row first column it is 12. So at first row first column you write down 12. Similarly first row second column 6. So here also first row second column 6. Like that we will completely assemble K1. Then for K2 what the corresponding degrees of freedom are Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6. Hence you have to write down 3, 4, 5, 6 here and also 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So while considering K2, so third row third column it is 12. So here third row third column already 12 was there, plus this 12 will become 24. Then third row fourth column it is 6, already minus 6 was there, plus 6 will become 0. Like this it continues. Okay. Then after assembling capital K, here as the load uniformly distributed load is acting on element 2, hence we have to write down UDL vector for element 2. This is the expression for UDL vector for a element 2, UDL vector for a beam element, that is Fe is equal to P naught Le by 2, P naught Le square by 12, P naught Le by 2 minus P naught Le square by 12 transpose, because it is a column matrix. Here P naught is the intensity of UDL given in the problem, Le is the length of the beam element. So we have to write down the element UDL vector for element 2 only, because the UDL is acting only on element 2. So this is the UDL vector for element 2. Here you can see that P naught is given as in the problem as 12 kilonewton per meter, that is 12,000 Newton per meter acting on element 2. Hence F2 is equal to, we'll get this one, 6,000, 1,000, 6,000 minus 1,000 transpose, that is a column matrix. Hence the loads on element 2 can be shown like this. So this is the element 2. At node 2 there is a vertical load of 6,000 Newton and a couple of 1,000 Newton meters here, this one, and it is in the clockwise direction. And at node 3 there is a load of 6,000 Newton and 1,000 Newton meter in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Now let us write down the equilibrium equation, that is K into Q is equal to F. So K is, this is the assembled stiffness matrix, and Q is the nodal displacement vector, which is Q1, Q2 up to Q6, and F is the nodal load vector. So here you can see that at node 1 there is no force in y direction, so it is 0, F1 is 0, and at node 1 there is no any couple, so F2 is also 0, and at node 2 there is a vertical force of 6,000 Newton in the downward direction. So downward direction is, we have used the sign convention as downward direction negative, that is upward direction positive, and anti-clockwise positive. So this is minus 6,000 Newton is the F3, and F4 is the couple acting at node 2, that is which is 1,000 Newton meter in the clockwise direction. So it is also negative because anti-clockwise is positive. So it is minus 1,000 is the F4. Then at node 3 again there is a downward force of 6,000 Newton. Hence Fy is equal to minus 6,000, and a anti-clockwise couple of 1,000 Newton meter, as it is anti-clockwise so it is positive, hence plus 1,000. Okay, this is the equilibrium equation. Now we have to apply the boundary condition. Here the boundary conditions in the problem are, as the left node is completely fixed, hence its displacement q1 and also slope q2 is equal to 0. And as at node 2 there is a support, hence only vertical deflection will be 0, whereas this slope will not be 0. At node 3 only again the only support is there, hence vertical deflection will be 0, but whereas this slope or theta will not be 0. Hence q1, q3, q5 are the vertical deflections which are 0, and slope q2 at node 2 is equal to 0. So these are the boundary conditions. Hence by using the elimination approach, eliminating first row first column corresponding to q1 equal to 0, then third row third column corresponding to q3 equal to 0, then fifth row fifth column corresponding to q5 equal to 0, and second row second column corresponding to q2 is equal to here. We have applied the boundary condition. Here first row first column has been eliminated because q1 equal to 0, then second row second column has been eliminated because q2 equal to 0, then third row third column has been eliminated because q3 equal to 0, then fifth row fifth column has been eliminated because q5 equal to 0, then the remaining are 8, 2, 2, 4. Hence it is 8 into 10 raised to 5 into bracket 8, 2, 2, 4, then q4, q6 is equal to minus 1000 plus 1000. Okay. Then you can see that there are two equations and two unknowns q4 and q6. Hence we can solve for this q4 and q6. We'll get q4 as minus 2.679 into 10 raised to minus 4 radians, because q4 is the rotation or slope theta. It will be in terms of radians. And q6 is 4.464 into 10 raised to minus 4 radians. Then to find the deflection at the center of the element, for element 2 the corresponding displacements are, we know that q3 is equal to 0, q4 is equal to, we have found this one, that is minus 2.679 into 10 raised to minus 4 radians, q5 equal to 0, and q6 is equal to 4.464 into 10 raised to minus 4 radians. Okay. Hence by using this field variable equation, that is v is equal to h into q at the center of element 2, that is when zeta is equal to 0, because we know that this sorry not zeta, z, when z is equal to 0, because we know that the natural coordinate z is equal to minus 1 at its left node and plus 1 at its right node and equal to 0 at its center. Hence z is equal to 0 at the center of element 2. Hence v is equal to h into q, that is h1 q3 plus le by 2 into h2 q4 plus h3 q5 plus le by 2 into h4 q6, where h1 h2 h3 h4 are the Hermite shape functions. Hence first we have to evaluate Hermite shape functions h1 h2 h3 h4 at zeta is equal to 0. Here we have evaluated h1 h2 h3 h4. These are the expression for h1 h2 h3 h4 which we have derived previously. So these are the values of h1 h2 h3 h4 after substituting zeta is equal to 0, that is at the center of element 2. We want deflection at the center of element 2. So okay, then substituting these in the v equation v, so we'll get the deflection, vertical deflection v is at the center of the beam is equal to minus 0.0893 mm. Now in order to find the support reactions, so here you can see that the displacements q1, q2, q3 and q5 are 0. Hence these are the supports, hence the reactions will be at the supports, that is R1, R2, R3 and R5. Okay. The equation for support reactions is given by the equilibrium equation, that is Ri is equal to, that is the first row which we have eliminated in K into Q is equal to F, that is Ki1 into Q1, that is for R1, Ri is when that is Ki1 into Q1 plus Ki2 into Q2 plus Ki3 into Q3 plus up to Kin into Qn minus Fi, where n is the number of degrees of freedom in the problem. Hence R1 is equal to K11 into Q1 plus K12 into Q2 plus K13 into Q3 plus K14 into Q4 plus K15 into Q5 plus K16 into Q6 minus of F1. Hence R1 is equal to minus 16.074 into 10 raised to minus 4 Newton. Similarly, R2 is equal to K21 into Q1 plus K22 into Q2 plus K23 into Q3 plus K24 into Q4 plus K25 into Q5 plus K26 into Q6 minus F2. Hence R2 is equal to minus 5.358 into 10 raised to minus 4. Similarly, R3 is K31 into Q1 plus K32 into Q2 plus K33 into Q3 plus K34 into Q4 plus K35 into Q5 plus K36 into Q6 minus F3. Hence R3 is equal to 6000.002678 newtons. Similarly, R5 will be 5999.99 newtons. So these are the support reactions for this problem. Thank you very much.